Okay, we are on when life gives you lemons, what do you do with it, right? That's the story that sometimes we hear. So later on, we're going to find out what a group of MCC students have done to answer that question. My name is Jim Elias. We are here for the latest installment of the Entrepreneur TV show. And what I want to do first is kind of explain the situation. I have with me some students from the Small Business Management Entrepreneurship class. And each year, I give my class a group project, give them a bag of lemons. And I ask them to not necessarily make lemonade, but to make something. So the project parameters are pretty simple. The first is it needs to be something around Park Avenue, Highway 61 as a location. We had 3 teams this year. The parameter is they must use the seed product, the lemons, in some way. And we did this on Saturday, February 5th, was supposed to be the culmination date. And the bottom line is the team with the most profit wins. So I'd like to introduce the 3 companies. I have with me here this morning spokespersons from each. The 3 companies were named Sweet Squeeze, and with me is Faye Sanchez. And the next company, we named it, can we say that? MAFTJ Enterprises. MAFT Enterprises. And I have with us Elizabeth Medina. And the Frozen Lemonade Pies team is Laura Sass. So what I would like to do is to have these ladies help us out with some information. So let's talk to Faye first about the Sweet Squeeze product and company. So Chad, if you would please put up the slide for that company, the first one. There we go. So Faye can see this. So explain for us, Faye, a little bit, please, about what you guys came up with. What was your business concept, your product plan, and where did you do it?
Well, our concept was to basically sell lemon products, baked goods, cheaper than the other groups. And we marketed basically MCC students and faculty, and with the weather and everything, we did pretty good.
Okay. Why did you decide to do it cheaper than the other teams?
Well, I don't want to say because like the economy, you know, but we just decided it would be easier. One person, you know, might have $1 in their pocket compared to like $10 for a pie, you know,
okay.
$1 for a slice.
Okay. Well, that's a good rationale. All right, talk about some of the problems. You mentioned the weather, and that certainly was a problem for everyone. We had, what, 17 inches of snow last week. What were some of the other obstacles that you felt your team faced?
Well, opposite schedules with each team member was like a huge issue because we weren't really able to meet all together all the time. So like we would have a class and somebody else would have to be at the stand and vice versa. So scheduling was one of the major issues. Okay,
okay. Talk about your stand a little bit. I know we have some pictures of what you guys were up to.
Well, we printed out some flyers with like the date, location, and how the money was going to go to the homeless shelter, and we put them around campus. I also made like a Facebook event, and we set up a stand in the library with like kind of like a base where people could go, you know, to come buy our product instead of going door to door with it. Was kind of more solid.
Okay. The Facebook event, I don't know if anyone else, I guess one of the other teams did do that. That's kind of some new marketing stuff as of late. How did that work out for you?
It worked really good. I had like a couple of my friends come and stop by specifically just to see our stand.
Because they had seen it on Facebook.
It worked really good. Mm-hmm.
Cool, good. And one of your teammates put together a little graphic, little logo for the company.
Sweet Squeeze.
Sweet Squeeze, okay. All right, we're looking at some video here of this group selling the their lemon bars, their lemon cupcakes, their lemon pies, their lemon, all kinds of stuff in the library. What I'd like to do next is go ahead and take a look at the slide with the numbers. So we'll kind of decipher the Sweet Squeeze company by the numbers. So we'll take a look at that when that comes up. Okay, so you'll notice on here that I have some question marks and down under labor costs, some asterisks on those, because part of the deal was, part of the assignment was to put together a plan and provide me with the final detail. And so this particular company was a little sketchy on some of their details. I have no idea how many total units the company produced, how many cupcakes and cakes and things like that that they made, and how many actual units they sold. We're right here, the price per unit, each item was either 50 cents or $1, right?
It did vary, yeah. And we also estimated the number of sold and the number produced because we didn't sell all of the products that we actually baked. We had leftovers.
So you had some leftovers,
Yeah,
so you had some spoilage. Did you count that into your expenses though? Okay, that's okay. All right. So you can see on their total sales revenue, $212.70, and that included some donations.
Yeah,
right?
Lots.
Okay. How do people donate?
Well, a lot of people said that either like they didn't like lemon or they were trying to watch their figure and that kind of thing, you know. So instead of like giving me, you know, currency for a product, they just said, you know, keep your product, I'll just donate you a couple bucks.
Cool. Okay. Also on there, we saw, let's see, $4.80 worth of labor costs. Part of the assignment was the amount of time that students were involved. We were going to charge 60 cents per hour. That would be the wage that they counted. One of your teammates, when we were looking at the numbers, had said, well, I think we sold products for about 8 hours total. And I don't know if that includes total of 8 hours, meaning 2 per teammate, 2 hours per teammate. I think you were there selling a lot more than that. And I don't know if that included any of the production time. And then we talked earlier this morning, you had another $19.20 worth of labor costs. And what was your comment?
Well,
doesn't count because
we donated our time. Yeah.
Okay. Businesses don't really operate that way, where they donate their time, but you know.
We did, yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, so total expenses then, not counting the $19.20 additional labor costs. The team, Sweet Squeeze, had mentioned $55.70 for total expense, with a total profit of $157. So that's pretty good for selling lemon bars and lemon cupcakes and lemon cakes, and there's the Sweet Squeeze logo. So with that, you know, where to go? Applause. You can go ahead for a Sweet Squeeze. Give them a round of applause, our studio audience. All right, so let's move on to the MAFG Enterprises with Medina here. Go ahead and explain to us a little bit about what you guys came up with, how you executed, how it all worked out.
I don't know. I guess we all kind of got into some trouble with coming up with a solid concept, kind of like Sweet Squeeze. They were able to come up with something quick and stuff like that. You know, when they were already a couple days ahead of us, we were, you know, 2 or 3 days behind. We were still trying to brainstorm ideas and thinking about things we can do. Lots of procrastination, I must say. Also, another thing that didn't really help out is between our work schedules and our school schedules, it was kind of hard to meet up somewhere in the middle. And so I think that was one of the biggest problems, is that we all had miscommunication, and you know, trying to figure out what to do. I feel like we kind of all just did our own thing, and then we kind of threw it in all together, I guess, at the end.
Okay. So what were some of your things? I know we have
well, there was a pamphlet that
the pamphlet.
Basically it's kind of cool. It's stuff that you can use with lemons, like to clean your furnitures and shoes, and you know, people economic wise, they don't want to spend $2 on Mr. Clean to clean their shoes, so you know, you can do that for free with lemons. We did some lemon bars, lemon cake, lemon poppy cupcakes, and we went out to Essentra, and I actually have a sister that works at the school district at Franklin School, so we kind of went there and kind of went to places that we knew.
Okay. Let's see, if we're looking at the slides, okay, you're raising money for some charities as well, right? Which, do we have those identified?
I believe we just said the food pantry.
Okay.
I believe that's what we agreed on.
Okay, if we're looking at the problems and obstacles, you talked about, obviously, the weather and the time of year works for all of these teams. Planning and scheduling, you kind of talked about that. And one thing specifically is you had some, we can call them personnel issues, because two things really uncontrollable. One is one of our team members had some pretty significant health issues, and so wasn't able to be around for some of the planning. And one of the other team members had just come into the class right in the middle of the project.
Yep.
Which I failed to mention that this project, I assign it, a week and a half worth of time. And given the snowstorm and some other things, we actually extended it by a couple of days. So that added some help, I think. You also mentioned, Medina, procrastination in communications. Talk about how, I'm waving at Rocky out there. Talk about how procrastination in communication gets in the way of doing business.
Like I said, you know, a couple of the other groups already had their plan, already had their idea going. As for us, we were just kind of bouncing around ideas saying, oh, well, we can do this, or let's do this, or maybe we can try this, instead of actually saying and putting down our foot and saying, hey, you know what, we're going to do this, and this is what we're going to do to get ahead in the game. So I guess that's kind of where, not necessarily a failure, but our downfall.
Okay, good. Well, that's a fair assessment. And part of the deal on the assignment is, when we started, I asked the students, each group, to put together a simple business plan, which the purpose, as I think you guys have learned and realized, the purpose of doing a plan is you have to be creative, you have to come up with a lot of ideas and think about where we want to go, but at some point in time we have to say, okay, this is good, let's go, and move on.
Right,
So.
and a lot of the stuff, I mean, I think that we had to also been reasonable. I think we were just kind of throwing out ideas that they were far-fetching, I guess is what you can say, rather than realistically. So that's kind of another thing that...
Yeah, that's good.
That kind of...
Good observation. Okay, so let's look at the numbers for MAFTJ Enterprises. And you'll see lots of question marks there. I have to admit, for this group, I had to run them down to get the numbers to be able to plug this together. So I ended up I'm glad that we're not going to audit them, because...
I mean, we have, from another member, I did learn this morning that we had another, basically a $50 donation.
Right.
So...
Right, another $50 worth of revenue. So we go back to the slide there, and we'll look at those. Okay, number of units produced, number of units sold, we're not really certain, because we had a number of different types of products. We had the pamphlets, and we had some pastries. The price per unit I think that varied widely as well. I think
we only did, I'm pretty sure we only did donations.
Only
so,
donations,
yeah.
and the pies, I think, was a higher price. So we had a whole lot of variety, and which could work, but in this case, you may have needed more time to organize the plan and make it work well. Let's see. So total revenue based on what we're looking at is $68, and with the information this morning, another $50. So we can add that to it, and that's a profit revenue. So the cost of goods about $8. The labor costs, I don't know. I got one input from one of the team members who said, oh, I spent a half an hour. So that's 60 cents, or 30 cents actually, but I think they had more labor costs than that into it.
I actually had a couple of friends help me make the lemon bars, and because they're a pastry chef, so I was just like, hey, come on over. And
okay, good. So the same thing as Faye, you had pro bono donated labor.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The bottom line there, a total of $59.96 profit. We could add another $50 to it, so it's a total of $109.96 profit. That's not too bad. Another job well done. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's move on to our frozen lemonade pies company. And we have Laura Sass with us to talk about this a little bit. So, Laura, why don't you go ahead and tell us how you came up with the concept and how you brought your team together to make it reality?
Well, one of our group members actually had this idea. She said she'd made the pies before and took them to a family event, and they went over really well. And I think one of our strengths was that we just decided right away, hey, this is what we're going to do. No, we're not going to decide to do a couple different things. We're just going to stick with one product. And then each of us went out and talked to friends and family and did our own marketing individually. And then we decided to come together and thought we'd go sell at Walmart, where we'd have a lot more, a bigger customer pool.
Okay. So you did some direct sales out in the community as well as retail at Walmart.
Right.
You also were raising money for some charities.
Right.
Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, a friend of mine is actually going to be swimming the English Channel. She is doing, it's called Crossing for a Cure, and she is raising all the funds that she gets, all the proceeds, donations, everything go toward Crossing for a Cure, so it's towards cancer research, the Cancer Research Fund. So we're doing that, and then another couple of our group members really, we'd like to donate to the Humane Society. So we're going to divide our profits between those two causes.
Good. Okay. Let's see. Obstacles and problems. Obviously, the weather and the time of year. Talk about how that affected your sales at Walmart outside.
We actually got quite a few laughs saying frozen lemonade pie, haha, 20 below right now. So that was one of the issues I think we kind of faced, was that it was so cold outside, and that we're selling frozen lemonade pies. We maybe could have thought about doing something, positive, like regular just muffins or hot chocolate or teas with lemon or something like that. But so that was one of the obstacles, I think. Another thing, like the other groups, our group members are from all different areas. I think probably 20 minutes apart. That's each of us at least. So
scheduling was difficult.
Right. Coming together, we decided to just spread out, one person do this. We had one person go out and get donations. We had a couple of us, make the pies, and then we just divided our roles, and I think that's what helped us.
One of your plans was to get together the Thursday before for production, for baking, and then the college was closed.
Exactly. So we had one person go out and just get the donations, and then we met here at MCC. We went out and got our product, and then two of us got together and made 38 pies in 2 hours. So. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about the price point. Why? How'd you come up with the price you sold your pies for, and as it compares to the other teams? I
went out and I looked at Aldi and looked at Walmart and a couple different places to try and see the the cheapest prices for each, ingredient that was necessary. So we went ahead and did that. We got our, some of our products from different places, of course. So we figured out that it cost about $3.50 to make a pie, and then we sold them for $10.
Okay, good. All right, let's look at the numbers then on this one. And this team was the one team that was able to provide clear, distinct numbers in a report, and they had specific number of units produced. They made 38 pies. They sold 37. Actually, this looks like this is number 38 here.
That has a name on it already. We used the other one for sampling.
For sampling.
Right.
How'd that work, the sampling?
I think it was before we decided to start sampling. We didn't start until about halfway through, but I think it went a little bit slower beforehand, and then afterward when we started saying, hey, have a sample of our lemonade pie, because before it just felt like, buy our lemonade pie, we need donations, that sort of thing. And so instead of just kind of reaching out and feeling them, having people feel forced to just give donations, it was more of just, hey, try our pie, hey, try this. And I think that worked a little bit better for us than just asking for donations. And
I know that when my son Tommy finally had an opportunity to sample the pie, then he was sold.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's go back to the numbers sheet then. All right, $10, so total sales revenue, $370, and you had a sizable chunk of donations that came in. Tell us about that.
I think that's one thing that sets us apart from the other groups. We decided initially we didn't really want to use money out of our own pocket because, we're college students. We don't exactly have the funds to go out and just buy everything in bulk and then make them. So we had one person that went out and talked with businesses in her community, and since they knew that our proceeds were going to different charities, they were more than willing. So we had $120 from 2 businesses, $100 was from one business alone, and then we also had some pie crusts that were donated too.
Good, okay. And then so the total revenue, including the donations, is $503. You had $118.30 worth of cost of goods, and you calculated your labor costs from all of the 4 team members, 23.5 hours, so $14.10. Total expenses, $132.40, for a total net profit of $370.60. So that's pretty good fundraising for some charities. So nice job. All right. So Chad, if you would pop up the total charity slide for us, please. This number, which as I guess the teacher of this class, I'm very proud of this. This warms my heart to see that you guys do this kind of thing. And actually we can add another $50 to that. So it's over $600 raised for some local charities in a week and a half time from 3 bags of lemons. So that's pretty cool. And I want to thank all of you guys, these 3 as well as the rest of the class members in doing that. So let's go and look at the very last slide then with the team results comparing the 3 teams together. So, which we already know who the winner is based on the reports here. Pardon me?
Can I do an
Yeah, absolutely, sure. All right. Now you're on camera, you can do it again.
Do it again?
Do it.
The arm.
Okay, so the Sweet Squeeze generated a total profit of $157. The MAFTJ Enterprises actually $109.96, and frozen lemonade pies $370.60. So the frozen lemonade pie team is the winning team. Congratulations! Yay, yay, yay! And the award for that is 50 extra credit points and a pie in the face. No. And members of that team are Amy Prince, Guillermo Galarza, Lara Sass, and Nicole Keppel. So congratulations, everyone. Thanks for all your hard work. I hope you had fun, and I hope you learned a little bit about entrepreneurship and profitability and charity fundraising, all kinds of good stuff. So thanks very much.
Thanks.
That ends us for this season. Okay, we're done.